Well, at last, we've got the long-awaited video, Lord President. Boy, what a saga this has been. Well, it was scheduled to be done 2 weeks ago. My good friends at Digitrains in Lincoln, who've done the sound for this locomotive, sent it out to me by overnight on the Friday, and Royal Mail thought that the 24-hour sign for meant some time within 48 hours or so. So I missed the filming slot, which wasn't very good. So of course I have other things I have to do and other schedules, and so it didn't get done that Saturday. Anyway, come the following Saturday, I'd gotten ready to film the slot, and unfortunately we had a very rare chip failure, and back it went to the workshop, and the guys at Digitrains sorted it really quickly. I sent it on overnight to him, and by the lunchtime the next day they had it fixed and running and on its way back to me. Then it should have been here yesterday, but the Royal Mail, wonderful guys, managed to not knock on the door or press the doorbell even though I was there, and left the dreaded red card through the door and said they would try and re-deliver it this morning, and hey presto, it's here this morning. Anyway, without any further ado, here's the thing itself, and as you can see it's a beautiful piece of kit, and she's got a fully detailed, you can't see it really from here, but it's got a fully detailed cab and a driver and a fireman and a metal full plate. It's supposed to have a die-cast chassis, and as you can see, the running gear and is lovely, and the decoration is beautifully done, especially the wheels. And as I say, she's going to be a really lovely addition to my model railway. You know, I wanted something similar to the A4, but not an A4, because let's face it, everybody and their dog's got an A4. So I wanted something a little bit different, and when Lord President came up, I thought, yes, that's where I'm going to go. Anyway, what we shall do now is we'll pop over to the control room, and as you can see, I'll fire up the old thing, and we better get the instruction sheet as well, because obviously we want to be able to figure out what the different things are. Right. Okay, well the first thing to do is to get the sound on. So I've got my controller in the other end, and we have some sound. I don't know if you can hear that, but well, it sounds like she got the steam up. Shall we get her going? Let's get her going, shall we? Right, what's the sounds we can set up? Well, we got the long whistle, we know, as F4, F3 is short whistle. You've got light engine, coal shoveling, injector blowers, speed dependent flange squeal. That's on 9, so we'll put that on. Tender water filling guard whistle. That's F13. Let's try F13, eh? 1, 3. Right, here we go. We'll get up to about 50, I think. That should You can hear the flange squeal going. Doesn't that sound great? And there she goes, chugging along nicely at last. Yeah, it was really frustrating last Saturday because I had it all set up, ready to go, camera ready, and I went to test it and it was as dead as a doornail. So that was a bit of a nuisance. Anyway, this thing runs beautifully smoothly. So Hornby for once turned out a really nicely running locomotive. It looks the part. And so I wanted something slightly different to the usual A4, and the P2 really hit the spot for me. And it's such an elegant looking machine. It captures that 1930s Art Deco charm. And as you can see, it runs along nicely. I'm just running a couple of Bachmans behind it. Mark 1s, run custard. And yeah, she's going quite beautifully. And she's on 3rd radius at the moment. But I'm reliably informed by my friends at Digitrains that when they did the running in and testing, she ran quite nicely on 2nd radius as well, which is what my inside track is. So I shall take their word for that because they know what they're talking about. And I'd like to take the opportunity to thank John D and John G at Digitrains in Lincoln for sorting me out. They even put the little fellas in the cab for me while it was on the workbench. So as I say, it's been a bit of an adventure getting this one on the line and getting her trundling along for your pleasure. But you know, these things happen. You take your time. Anyway, while we're here looking at the layout, as you can see, there's been a little bit of work going on. I'm still working on the station buildings. I've decided the original station buildings and the engine shed were too big for what I wanted. I've just bought one of those little Luxton stations that looks about right. I've finally figured out where the signal box goes on the end of the platform, and I've got a little engine shed, although that's not its final destination. I haven't started working on this end of the layout yet, so but I've got a sneaking suspicion the little engine shed will be this end, because in the middle where I'd originally had an engine shed, that's actually now going to be carriage sidings, which makes much more sense for this layout. And then somewhere in the middle, eventually, when I've moved all this other stuff, there is actually going to be something of a little rural village type affair. Possibly a row of railway cottages, that sort of thing. And as I say, I'm sort of doing that bit by bit. I've also got a rather nice kit from Scenic Models, I think it is. Anyway, that's a bonded warehouse made in wood, laser cut wood, with those paper overlays, which I'm going to be making at some point, and I shall cover that in a future video. I would have liked to have had this review out a bit earlier, but as I say, a few little complications came along. But as I say, despite the best efforts of Royal Mail to thwart the project, with the help of Digitrains themselves, we got it sorted. As you can see, it goes very nicely when you watch it go round. You see, it goes round very nicely. I haven't tried running it with the flanged jockey wheel yet. I might do that just to see what happens, but I don't hold out much hope for that. Anyway, if you look, the gauge clearance for your platforms is pretty good. That's if you're using the curved platform ends like I do. I learned that lesson a long while ago with a previous layout. If you can put curved ends on your platforms, that's the way to go. I know it's not what happens in modern image, but you'll save yourself a lot of headaches. I think they look more aesthetically pleasing as well. And of course this is supposed to be a small branch line station anyway. In which case, why would a P2 have gone through here? Well, it may have been diverted on its way through to wherever. As you can hear, it sounds beautiful. I mean, listen to that. Yeah, how about this one? There's the short whistle, but as you can see, you can hear things. Oh, crumbs, there's all sorts on here. There's yeah, we've got sound on, of course, brake key, short whistle, long whistle, light engine, coal shoveling, injector, blower, speed dependent flange, square on function 9, which is nice. I'll just let it keep popping around, it's going around nicely, isn't it? The guard whistle and response you heard, tender water filling, speed dependent detonators, cylinder valves, couple uncouple, automatic wagons take up slack, unfitted freight mode, which is nice. I don't know if these did freight or not, because they were primarily a passenger thing. Now, the P2 is purportedly, was probably the most powerful passenger engine ever built. I believe only 6 of them were built. They were a very small class. And later in 1943 and 44, Thomson came in as chief engineer and had them reworked into Pacifics. So they lost one of the drive axles. And it turned out they were a bit mediocre after that. But when they were in this form, apparently they used to be quite good. And they had a lot of adhesion. Although we were told they could have slipped a little bit under heavy acceleration. But I expect the skilled driver would have gotten the most out of it. As I say, it's a majestic sight seeing it go around the layout like this. As I say, it's a beautiful example of an Art Deco style locomotive. A Bugatti style front, they call it. And all 6 of the class eventually, I think the first 2 didn't have the Bugatti front, but they decided to dissipate the smoke better, and they were retrofitted. The first 2 were retrofitted in the same way that this one was. So they all ended up with the streamlined front end. Anyway, the same people who built the Tornado a few years ago are in the middle of building a new P2 using the original drawings and some computer-aided design and a few other innovative things. At the Doncaster Works are now building the Prince of Wales 2007, which will be the 7th member of the class, as a new build in the same way they did Tornado. So that's exciting. And then there's another group going to be building, started building a P2 with the Bugatti nose. So we should see these monsters, and I use the word monster in a good way, these monstrously large locomotives will once again be on British rails, which will be something to see, or something I'm looking forward to. They reckon the first one should be in steam by 2025. Well, I hope so, because that would be nice. But as I say, this thing's going around nicely. I love that noise. It's very evocative of, you know, the original steam engines. Anyway, it goes round beautifully. I mean, look at the motion on that as well as it goes. So anyway, now I don't quote prices on these things because, well, the prices can vary from supplier to supplier. But what I will say, and the contact for the YouTube channel will be in the description, what I can say is that our friends at Digitrains in Lincoln would be able to probably sort you out for any of your DCC sound and non-sound needs. They're my go-to people for sound, because they always know precisely what I'm talking about when I ask for a thing. The service is really good, bless them, and they'll quite happily chat with an old duffer like me, and you know, as I say, they're very nice chaps, really, and they'll always go that little extra mile for you, because they're good like that. And of course they're fairly local to me, and they're only in the next county up in Lincolnshire, because I'm in Norfolk. So delivery times, Royal Mail notwithstanding, but they usually send stuff out to me expedite overnight, and sometimes Royal Mail even manage to do it, which is nice. But anyway, it's a lovely train. You know, because I do, contrary to common belief, I do actually like steam trains. I was on the North Norfolk Railway as a ticket inspector, and I used to work on the steam services when I was still able to. So I miss doing that. But I also like diesels as well, because diesel is my sort of era, really. And of course, latterly, my grandfather, when he was on the railway, switched from steam services to diesel. You know, he was there during that period before he retired. So I've got a family connection with steam and diesel, really. But as I say, I've got one or two nice little steam locomotives as well. I've got the Fairburn tank engine over there, which I've temporarily taken off the track while I run this one. Obviously I've got my diesels and my DMUs, which I like. So I'm quite a fan of DMUs. I think the DMUs did a lot to save our railways, actually. There's a lot of I think a lot more branch lines would have been lost if it weren't for things like the 101 coming in, and then later on the sprinters. So. And, well, there you go. Let's see if we can get this to stop somewhere near us. Let's bring it around. Oh, you hear that flange squeal going. So, any little wobbles are nothing to do with Hornby, and everything to do with my track work. So there you go. There you go. Isn't she a beauty? As you can see, she's got an electrical coupling, which is simplicity itself. It just plugs in and unplugs really easily. You can see the coal. That's the only criticism of this model, is perhaps the coal could have been made to look a little bit more realistic. You can always put your own coal load in, I suppose. The other thing we've got here, as you can see, is there's all these little things here, these little greeblies. They open. I've got some nice, what look like separately fitted metal safety valves in it. And you can see on this particular version, there's a set of rivet in there, and then there's a double Kylchap blast exhaust thing, and even that seems to be modelled quite well as well. I can't get the focus on this. As you can see, the fireman's got bored, so he's decided to put some coal in. And here's another thing, of course. I don't know if we can get this. Well, actually there is. You can't see it from this angle. But there is a glowing firebox, which unfortunately I can't get it from this angle with this camera, unfortunately. But anyway, there you go. That's the LNER P2 Gresley designed Lord President. They do also Earl Marischal, which has the alternative in the front end on it. We'll just get a front shot of this, just so you can see everything on there nicely done. Everything there nicely done. So overall, a very nice model. So anyway, that's it for today. See you on the next one.